Okay. Hello everyone, this is Wild Blade from Creative Media Vault in Tokyo, Japan, and today is Tuesday in Tokyo. So I know this is Tutorial Tuesday, so I know I said I was going to try to stream more during the daytime. But we're still having some problems with the kids and coronavirus right now, so the kids are still kind of hanging. Well, my youngest son is still kind of hanging around the house during the daytime doing online lessons. So I'll probably be doing more streaming at night again, at least for this week, until this all kind of blows over. So, let's see. Didn't really get a chance to do so much on this weekend. So I'll try to catch you up on some of the things that I did actually implement in the game. What you're looking at right now is you're looking at the new kind of I guess a splash screen for the game. So I did go ahead and do up this artwork. So I'll give you a little bit of a walkthrough of how I did that. So all of this artwork was done on my iPad. And you can play the updated game on my itch.io page. So you just go to creativemediavault.itch.io Spirits of the Lost Winds, and you'll find this page here. Um, and then you'll be able to kind of download the latest update to this game that we're building. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, had a pretty nice weekend. We had some friends come over from out of town and kind of stay. So, just to give you a demo of kind of what we've got going on in the game at the moment. This is our Unity, and this looks a lot different than from what you saw last time. I'm going to go ahead and turn the UI off so we can see things a little bit better. Right. And so, yeah, this is kind of what our game level looks like at the moment. So you'll notice that there have been a lot more like artwork elements kind of added to this. So I did do a little bit more on the level design. So I will walk you through what we have so far. I mean, besides that screen, and I'm going to show you how I do a little bit of my artwork today as well. All right, so let's see. We'll go ahead and play the game. Um, and then I'll kind of, as I run into things that I've added last week or over the weekend, I'll let you know about them. So yeah, this is kind of what our first level looks like. Still working on the graphics because I didn't want to do too much, that I had to explain. But if you're wondering what this yellow square is, well, this yellow rectangle is one of our dialog scripts. So if I run into this, this will trigger on player enter. So I can I designed this little cool like pop up here. So this is our dialogue, our first dialogue. So the player can kind of click through these and like get a little bit of a feel for the story. And she can still kind of run around and fight and shoot and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of arranged it this way to where the dialogue pops up, but it doesn't really stop the player from doing from interacting with the world or fighting off enemies, right? And if I get tired of looking at this dialogue, I can just go ahead and skip this one. All right. And so we are using more of a tiled system. So remember, she's not falling off of this because we're using a polygon collider to box out the areas where she can kind of run around. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what we've got at the moment. And she does have her pickup still. Now, actually, I'll turn that off because I don't have my UI on, so you can't really see the pop-up. So let me go ahead and cut this back on. You can't really see her power-ups. So what else have I added to this? So we have our we have our dialogue pop-ups that that are interactable, and then we have our pickups. So this is like a key card that she'll have to pick up or something that she can use to clear the level. And I did add a script to this. So we had a problem. We had a bit of a problem before because the player could run around and pick up these items, but in order to close the item, we had to kind of click this red square. But if you're fighting off enemies, you might not have enough time to really click, and you might be a little bit preoccupied, too preoccupied to really fumble around and click with this when you're getting shot. So I did add another script to the dialogue pop-ups right here, or these card pop-ups right here. This is one we're looking at. So I added a script to this, and this is just a script to close this pop-up by using the escape key. So I added this to all of our first attack cards, which you can see right here. So like you'll see this close attack card script. So I'll go ahead and show you what I've done with that. It's really simple. So just went over here and I added this script to all of the attack card pop-ups on the UI, not the actual pickups. So we just created a game object for active card, and then I created this function like close active attack card, and I used the if input get key down key code escape, and that's just going to like turn whatever whatever card we have in this slot to off. And if we go back into Unity, you'll notice that on this dash attack first pickup, I actually drug that game object in here. So now when the player is playing the game, instead of like having to run around here and try to click this while enemies are attacking, he can just hit the escape. He or she can just hit the escape, and that's it. Right, so that'll make navigating the world a little bit easier because you don't have to try to choose between closing your card menus down and clicking on the item or something like that, right? So we have this card picked up. Now I've also enlarged the coins and stuff like that. We haven't really done anything with those so far, but we will. All right, and we have another dialogue here. So this will be our second dialogue. If I click on this. So, we can get a little bit more of the story, and then if I'm done with it, I can just go ahead and hit skip. All right, and you'll notice now the enemies are attacking. So before there were no enemies on the screen when she crossed this bridge. So what I did is I added an additional little bit of code to our dialogue manager. And let me go ahead and turn this guy off too. All right, so if we'll take a look at our dialogue manager script very quickly, you'll notice that I've added like a few if statements, and I added up here I added a few booleans. So for example, let's see, so I added a few booleans for a couple of things I'll show you. For example, where so I added this triggered enemies triggered boolean, this spawns triggered boolean, and this camera's triggered boolean. What else did I also added these portals open, like it's portal open, game objects and stuff like that. So if you go up here, you'll see those. So these are our game objects for enemies, triggers, and camera spawners. Now the reason I did that, and I'll go ahead and put notes in here. So this will allow enemies to be triggered after a conversation. So before I had enemies just kind of running around the screen when the game started, but I might not necessarily, especially for the first level, I might not necessarily want that to happen. I might want the player to get some information first before the enemy start attacking her. So she'll need to be able to make it through the dialogue script until the end. If I have it set up in on trigger enter event where she actually bumps into the dialogue and the dialogue starts and the enemies start at the same time, she's going to start getting attacked when while she's trying to read the dialogue. So just to give her a little bit of breathing room, I've added these game objects here, and by default I have the enemies and the spawners and the camera spawner set to off. And then after she finishes like a certain dialogue, that's when they'll switch on. So this allows the enemies to spawn after a conversation is finished. So yeah, we don't want her being attacked like all the time while she's, especially in the beginning while she's like trying to read the instructions. Hmm. So conversation has been completed, and you know the same thing for these trigger camera spawners. And I'll show you what all of those are in a second. Hmm. Okay. So I'm trying to keep the code for this as simple as possible by using a lot of booleans, right? And also the same thing for here. Um, you know, I did add a boolean for you know, if the player after the player finishes a conversation, then she'll be allowed to enter a portal, so a portal will open up. So we can kind of choose when we want these things to open up, after a conversation or when she runs directly into them, right? And I'll show you where that is. Allowed a portal to be open after a conversation. So, I mean, you could use switches and stuff like this, but you know, I'm trying to keep the code as simple as possible. All right, so let's see. Let's go down here. So after I created all of these like booleans and all and these game objects, you know, for these things, then basically what I did is I just went down into the end dialog, you know, and so the end dialog for our dialog manager, and that's where these are going to be called. So I put like the first one enabling the enemies after conversation has ended. So this is if enemies triggered is set equal to true. Then I'll just set that trigger enemies that we have defined like in here. So right now I have these set for null because like I have this now I always create this one empty object that I call null object, and it's basically nothing. It's just an empty game object that's null, and it's saved as a prefab. So whenever I'm like setting up stuff for placeholders, if I don't want to put any actual information in there, then I'll just like set it to null. So that's what you're looking at on this one, because right now this particular intro dialogue is not going to trigger anything, right? So it's not going to trigger enemies, it's not going to trigger spawners, and it's not going to trigger the camera spawner. The camera spawner is this thing right here, are these things right here. And these are normal spawners, but I've actually parented them to the main camera because I want them to follow the player around. So this is, hey, what's up, Sports Better 2? Wow, I didn't think I had anybody on. All right, it's good to see you. Yeah, normally I try to stream at night, but you know, I try to stream during the daytime, but you know, I've been streaming a lot at night because of the situation here. So yeah, it's good to see you, man. So I'm just kind of catching people up on what I've done with this game with this game tutorial that we've been working on. Hold on. Yeah, so and then we'll get into like some artwork for today, I think. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, when I say situation, I'm talking about like the COVID situation over here. So my kids have to kind of, yeah, my kids have to kind of have been working from home for the past couple weeks. So I haven't really been able to stream in the morning time so much. Hmm. Yeah, all right. So let's see. So right now I'm just making game tutorials. You know, this is not my main game project. My main game project is actually this one right here, CDULO The Outer Rim, the one that I'm kind of working on for my Kickstarter. But I'm not really going to be able to focus on this one so much until after you know, things kind of get back to normal. Yeah, yeah. So. Yes, I'm actually making tutorials for Twitch, for YouTube, and for Patreon. You know, so I'm making a template right now that I'll just put out there for everyone to like really use. Yeah, but this is the main game that I'm supposed to be working on. I'm just kind of taking a break from it right now. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I live in Japan, man. I love anime. One reason I moved to Japan was because of anime. So I also write books and create comics. So if you go to my website, creativenv.com, right here, you can actually go up here and check out some of my own like comics and novels and like in my original games here. You know. Yep, yep, yep. For real, that's me. Yep. So yeah, yeah. So stop by here and check this out. I got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. So let's see. So where are you from? Yo, tell me how I went to this browser. Hold on. Let me go ahead and drop this in the link here then. This category. You mean on Twitch or? Oh, when it comes to anime recommendations, you've come to the right guy. I am like a super nerd. All right, so like I live and breathe anime and video games. So, what kind of anime are you into? Let's see, what kind of anime are you into, and do you have Netflix? I guess those are my two things. Let's see. I'm dropping you a message right now. So, mm, da, 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 da. My website is me. So I'm still kind of new to this Twitch thing. Okay, that's all right. Onizuka is actually pretty good. I mean, it was a little bit low key for me though. So, you're from Florida. Okay, I'm originally from Tennessee in America, but I haven't lived in America in like almost 20 years. Actually, I haven't lived in America for like 21 years because I've been traveling the world. So, like, I've been to like 40 something different countries. I'm ex-military though. I'm ex-Navy, so I was stationed in Chicago, in Pensacola for a little bit, and in Virginia for 4 years before I went out to the Mediterranean stuff. Mm. Yeah. So for anime, you are going to want to watch a lot of stuff. So you're gonna want to see like Netflix. I recommend. Do you have Netflix? Oh, Japan is amazing, man. It's like it's like really the people are really nice. The food is good. It's very safe. I've been here for like 21 years. So after I got out of the military, I came back. Mm. So I'm gonna recommend some Netflix shows, Netflix anime shows. Just like a list of them for you. So I recommend, let's see, Arcane, if you haven't seen that one. Arcane, I'll put these all in one line. So Arcane, Bungo, Stray, Dogs, uh, um, Gundam Seed, let's see, Demon Slayer, definitely. Let's see. Jujitsu. I don't think we have an English translation for this one. Jujitsu, Kaisen, Kaisen. What else we got? So, Gundam Seed, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen. We've got what else? What's the one I just watched? Yeah, yeah. I like if I watch anime and the storyline is crap, like I cannot handle it. I don't like voiceover and I don't like bad storylines. So yeah, all of the ones that I'm recommending have really good storylines. Jujutsu Kaisen. What else do we have? I just watched another one like a couple days ago that I cannot remember the name of to save my life. So let me check my. I'm always recommending anime to people anyway. Let's see. What was it? Erased. Akudama Drive. Akudama. These are all like shows on Netflix that you can watch right now. Drive. Uh, Code. Yes. Okay, here's just a few of them, to kind of keep you. Yeah. Do they have? GTO. I didn't like that type of humor of the teacher. Yeah. Like so, GTO. I mean, like a lot of Japanese anime does have that kind of little ecchi element to it, or this kind of like hentai. Well, not really hentai, but like that kind of element. With older guys hitting on younger girls. So, Japanese society is like pretty loose and about flirting and sex and stuff in anime. Hmm. Oh no. I got married in Japan, so like I got married after I got out of the military. Yeah. So let's see. Those are some good anime series to kind of keep you on your toes, and give you something to watch, especially if you're like during doing stay at home, and can't go anywhere. So that will give you hours and hours of stuff to, of stuff to kind of latch on to and keep yourself busy. All right. So let's see. Coming to see dudes with younger. In anime, yeah. In society, not really. So in anime, like it's still kind of, a lot of people they still kind of like have that kind of trope going on with like but realistically, younger people hook up with younger people, older people hook up with, people tend to hang out and marry people their age unless it's like work related something, maybe like older guys. A lot of Japanese guys don't get married until they're like 40 or something like that. And so a lot of times they'll like yeah, and by that time they've worked in a company and they have money and they've got their lifestyle kind of set up, but they don't really have a family, so they just like go back and find some like maybe 29-year-old somewhere, someone around maybe half their age to kind of hook up with, so that's kind of common too because he's just been working his whole life and he's got his savings and everything. So mm. But other than that, people tend to hang out with people their peers around their age. But in anime, it's always kind of like some older guy hitting on some younger girl, or some young guy that this girl is all over, but he's not into her kind of thing. So all right, so yeah, like, but anyway, these animes that I picked out for you, they have a very good balance, very good sense of comedy, action, good storylines. So I think you'll like these. All right, so let's see. Back to the game. We've got. I was showing you this null object that I use. So the way that I triggered the enemies on this level is when basically there's no enemies on the level until we hit this dialogue here, this NPC2 dialogue. And then after that, after the player runs into it, when he finishes the conversation, or when she finishes the conversation, then you'll notice that I have this spawners triggered, this enemies triggered, like kind of set up. Well, actually, I set the enemies triggered to this one right here. So on NPC 1. So after the conversation is finished, this has been set to true already. So then the enemies will pop up on the screen. So that's kind of what we were just seeing. So that's why these guys just came out of nowhere. Yeah. All right, so the player can kind of run around, but if you'll notice, she doesn't have any attacking ability, so all she can do is kind of dodge at the moment and get shot. You know, so we have our card pickup here, and we're going to change the graphics for these cards as well. So I'm going to hit my escape key to get rid of that, and then I'm going to trigger. Well, I'm going to die first. All right, so let's go back over here. All right, so let's go ahead and pick up all of these. And so this player does have like some different attacks. So this is going to be her dash attack. So you can see like a little bit of an explanation right here, which I probably need to put a black background on that now that I think about it. So there's no enemies on the screen at the moment. So and they're not going to trigger until after I like read this conversation, right? And then so I can either read through all of this or I can go ahead and skip it, same result, and that's when the enemies come out. Alright, so I'm going to hit my escape keys and go ahead and smash these guys. So if you'll notice, I've got my got this card here, and that is one way for me to activate this attack. So I can activate it by pressing this and then using my middle mouse button to just kind of dash through all of these guys and get them out of my way. Or I could have just hit the Q key. Alright, so we've programmed that in. And we also have our mini map here. so the player can kind of see where he's going. This little thing right here is actually a building. So we are going to like kind of play with make that bigger. Um, but I'll go ahead and show you what else I've got. Um, so that she can pick up coins, which I haven't really figured out what we're going to do with yet. Um, we've got our little area over here. With the all of these graphics that you're seeing right now. Here's the final dialogue pickup. So let's answer this one. Third conversation. Oh, I haven't put any instructions in here. All right, so let's get rid of this. And I'm going to trigger this one by hitting the W key. And now I can shoot this enemy. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. And so I'll go ahead and skip out of this. Now all of the artwork that you're seeing is just was actually done on my iPad. Now, a mix of my iPad and Procreate. This isn't even done here because you still can see the sketch lines. Yeah, I made all of those graphics. So I do all of the graphics on iPad. I do my initial sketching on iPad because it's really convenient and it's really fast. And then I do like a lot more of the actual game objects in Adobe Animate, right? So yeah, this is what our game kind of looks like right now. All right, and since you brought that up, I guess I'll go ahead and show you, right? I guess I'll go ahead and show you the main title screen because that's kind of what we're going to be working on changing today. Now that I've kind of got the layout of this level kind of done, all we need to really start doing is adding graphics. So if I go here, and I go all the way to the end of this game. Notice there's no enemies on the screen. So she could just kind of walk around here. Now, if I go all the way down here, you're going to see that there is no way for her to escape this level. So she's kind of like stuck. Uh, well, actually, I am going to, if I like this game, I'm going to go ahead and build it out for Steam at least. My main Kickstarter game is going to be on Steam and on Nintendo Switch and on PS once I get back to that project. So right now, if you'll notice, she's kind of stuck on this level. And that's because she hasn't really she hasn't really, read this. So if she goes through here and she reads the conversation, this is her escape portal. Now, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna escape to our main. We've only got one level. Actually, yeah, I think that is a bot. TikTok video links, yeah. All right, so right now, this is kind of what our main menu looks like, and because I just haven't put any any effort to doing the main menu, but since we just started kind of talking about how I do my artwork, I'm gonna like cut this off and I'm gonna go to my Streamlabs and I'm gonna show you my iPad. Boom. All right, so this is my iPad Air 2, which should be showing something else. So, Oh, okay, you're not a bot? Sorry about that. Yeah, I thought you might have been a bot, so we were kind of like, trying to decide whether you were a bot or not. Okay. So, now, this is the funny part. This is where I show you how I actually do my artwork, right? So, when I'm doing my artwork, a lot of times I will start. Yeah, no, no, no. I thought it was I thought it was a bot too because of the name. So TikTok video links. Hmm. And I'm still kind of new to like, still not used to streaming on Twitch, so I don't really know what's a bot or what's not. But yeah, thanks for like the recommendation. So, I'm definitely going to be adding some of these to Steam as I get better and faster. Right. But yeah, this is how I do my artwork. So if you'll notice, I'm not exactly the best artist in the world. I'm just very, very persistent. So to be honest, most of my artwork for my game starts off like this, right? So it's just me scribbling. I mean, seriously, this is how I start everything. And I don't really think that's a bad way to start art because a lot of times, like when I sit down, I'm coming up with completely original characters, completely original game ideas. And I might have a concept, But you know, I'm not a type of person who can just like say, "Oh, I want to draw this character," and sit down and just start sketching away. You know, I can't do that shit. So generally, like I find like when I sit down, a lot of times I'll have the concept. I'm like, I want to make this fox. I want to make, but I can't really get the shape. So it takes me a lot of time to really if I sit there and try to like actually start drawing the character with lines, it takes me a lot of time to really get it right, and then I start getting frustrated because my lines don't look clean or anything like that. So in order to get past that, I just like open up a blank sheet and I just start doodling, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I want to add a bird to this. So then I'll just like start, trying to get the, okay, maybe I'll have a flying bird like this, right? And that's how all of my artwork starts. Now, this is not going to be the title screen. So, generally, I'll go with like, just scribbles. And then after I got my scribbles down, then I will start, doing stuff like adding actual lines. So, let's see. Do I have the whole process here? Yeah, so after that, I'll do my line art and I'll like, let the scribbles kind of go their way. Yeah. And then let's see if I can show you the actual. So like all of my artwork kind of looks like this. So the level that you just saw, this was the beginning of it, just like scribbles everywhere, just to kind of get an idea of what I wanted. And then I tend to add color to it. So I'll airbrush some color into it. I think it's this one right here. So I'm not gonna like show you like the whole process, but yeah. So I start with lines, and then I start behind the lines. I'll start airbrushing some color to get an idea of the color that I want to use in it. And hold on, that is a phone call for me, and that's actually probably not for me, but yeah, I'm just gonna let it ring through. So I'll go through and I'll add like some basic colors, and then after that, that's kind of when I start adding more details to it. So like my sky back here, and so this is my art design process, and you'll notice I just keep on adding, and adding details until, and then I'll add my lines. So I tend to add my lines. Make a 3D fighting game called Cranky Fighters. Cranky Fighters. Are you making the game, or do you want me to make the game? Uh, because like when it comes to fighting games, I can't really make a fighting game. Let's see. So let's see back to this. So I've got my lines here. So I do my line art after I got my colors kind of settled. Then I start adding effects like this little these clouds down here that you're seeing. And then I just keep on building, building, building until I get like a finally decent look for my art. Yeah, and that's kind of what you're seeing in the game right now. So all of that was built in here, and then after I've done the layout and stuff, yeah, after I've kind of got the level laid out the way that I want it in Procreate on iPad, because I can do this anywhere. Then what I do is I port it over to my Adobe Animate, which we can see right. Actually, I don't have it open. All right, let's see. Let me open up my Animate right quick. And hope it doesn't crash because I got League of Legends open. So, yeah. So while that's opening up, so basically the artwork, all of this artwork is what you just saw on my iPad. So it was really, it was really, it doesn't really take like such a long time to make it, I think. You just kind of have to, yeah, so this right here is the background that you're currently seeing in the game here. Yeah. And then let me go ahead and hide the UI again. So I think my main point is that you don't have to be like a good artist to like make game art. I mean, as long as you know how to scribble, like scribble some lines, like scribble some shapes, and then like go around and like add lines to it later, you're pretty good. All right, and my animated just open. Let me go ahead and open my recent recent file. So after I do my artwork in Adobe, in on my iPad, once I do the initial sketches and stuff on my iPad, then what I do for adding details and stuff like that is I will open up my Adobe Animate, which is the program that you're looking at right here, and I tend to do a lot of my level layout. Yes, I am using Unity. Yeah. So right now, I used to do iOS programming and stuff like that. So I used to use Xcode, Objective C, but I got tired of like having to try to keep up with the updates from Apple. Like, cause I would literally be halfway in the middle of a game, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish this game, but then like, Apple, guess what? We're releasing the iPhone 8, and the dimensions and everything will be completely different. So that really started to mess with me after a while because it takes a long time to make a game if you're a solo developer. If you have a team, it's like, not so bad. But if you're a solo developer, you'll get halfway in the middle of something and then they'll just completely change the specs. And so, like, it just turned out that it wasn't worth it. And then you always have to try to keep on updating it on the App Store because the turnover rate on the App Store is much faster. So that's one reason why I switched over to Unity, because now I just want to make a game, put it out somewhere that doesn't update as much, and like, unless I choose, and like kind of update the game when I want to, instead of like when I have to because they're releasing new software or new iOS patches or new hardware you know so Unity is a lot more chilled for me, and plus, I can like port over to any platform you know yeah, but iOS development is really, really kind of difficult because you always have to try to keep up with the trends, and you always have to like worry about what they're going to change but with Unity, it's stable. The platform is pretty stable, and it's like, you want PS4, we do PS4, we do Nintendo Switch. Just port your shit over. It's much easier. So after I do my original artwork in on my original sketch work and stuff on Procreate, which is actually, I use my iPad for like 80% of my work. It's I make games, and I also make store products. So what you're looking at right now is you're looking at some of the store products from my online store. So basically, what I do is I will create a game, and then I will put that game up on like itch.io. Like, here's some of the games that you can see. This one is not completed. I started doing that for a game jam. So I'll put my games and stuff up on itch.io. And then after that, I have an online store. So most of my business before COVID hit, this was doing pretty good. But this is my online store, and all I do is I just sell original products of my game characters. So of my storyline. So I have comics, I have novels, and I have games. So I just create original characters from all of these, and then I sell them online. After I have created new new game or something. So I'll put my itch.io link in here for you. Let's see. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I make video games for a living and comics and stuff like that. Um, pre MV, not yeah, it's hard to make money just from like doing straight games though. So you have to kind of mix both, I think, in order to really get any money out of it. So you have to have multiple things, but having your own online store, you know, um, I like this because I actually own everything. So I have the copyrights, I have everything, and so when I put a product on there, nobody else has it. It's just totally mine. So, basically, it's like a niche market of anime goods that are completely connected to my own stories. So, no, you can't get these things anywhere else. So, I mean, it actually works out much better that way. Give me a second. Huh. Okay, I'll give you my online store link. So, nerdyerdiv.com. You can like go check that out. Um, Japan has a lot of Japan is very well known for fashion and style. So like you will find any kind of style that you can imagine here, especially in Tokyo. And the trends tend to shift much faster in Japan because Japan is still an island country and it's not really so big. So any new trend that hits Japan tends to hit hard. So you have your good mix of like vintage style clothing, modern clothing, like oh yeah. They do like vintage shirts and vintage Levi's though. Especially I live in central Tokyo, which is located like to a lot of the good shopping areas. But there's a place called Akihabara, and like they have a whole street where you can just go buy vintage clothing. It's pretty nice. I mean, I shop there sometimes. Okay, so here is my uh, online store for game stuff. Online store for game stuff. So if you're like when you go to when you go to this online store, you can like click on some products and stuff like that, and just to check them out. And then you can kind of see which property they're kind of related to. Like this shirt right here is actually connected to my novel. Yeah, and you can watch like some videos and stuff to find out about this character. You know, and you can like also check his character profiles and stuff like that. So, but if you want to know more about the games, I used to sell vintage clothing, and all my old vintage pieces were sold. Yeah. So like Japanese people do love vintage stuff, and importing vintage clothing is actually was a very good business over here. So I have lots of mommy friends, like lots of female friends over here that used to just do that. They would import, they would especially when they would travel to the U.S., they would go like vintage clothing hunting, and they would hit up all of these stores and buy a lot of stuff for like cheap, like maybe $2 or $5, and then just pack it up and send it to Japan. And then when they got back here, they had their little home office set up, and all they had to do was like, they would mark it up like almost 200%, and then they would just sell it from their house, and they were making a killing. But that was before COVID hit, and we have import export problems and all of this stuff. So yeah, so yeah, vintage clothing does sell pretty well over here, but now I think the market has kind of started to change a bit because just because it's harder to get stuff from overseas. Right, so yeah, so but like if you're interested, stop by and check out the online store and like check out the games, check out the products associated with them, and that might give you some ideas as well. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, I have Netflix. I have Netflix. I have Disney Plus. I have everything, um, which gets me in trouble when I'm trying to like make a game because like a lot of times I'm like I'm just gonna watch one anime episode for like 30 minutes and then like 8 hours it goes by and I haven't done anything. Yeah, Blue Gold American Jeans. Okay, I will check that out. Hold on. Let's see. I got my Netflix on my phone. Okay. So what time is it in Florida right now, by the way? My parents are in Tennessee. I think you're on the same time zone. So you're pretty much into fashion, huh? Hold on. Oh, I don't know that one. But I mean, I'm already paying for Netflix, so let's see. Oh, maybe I can't watch it in Japan. Didn't I? Yeah, okay, I might have to like check it out on that link because I don't think I can see it in Japan. Yeah, there are some shows that we can't really watch in Japan. It's like a region locked or whatnot. So I'll go ahead and like click the link on my iPad though. Oh, okay. It says that it's not available. Huh. Yeah, I just clicked the link that you sent me, and it like I can't go to it. Yeah, I would need a VPN. I would need to activate my VPN, so I might try to do that one later. Okay, yeah, yeah, nothing's available in its region on when I'm clicking the links right now, so I'll have to go through VPN, and I'll do that later. But I have the links on my screen now, so yeah, so thanks. That guy comes to Japan to sell his vintage jeans. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I have both of the links open over here, but I'll have to go through VPN. So and VPN takes up a lot of bandwidth when I'm doing stuff online. So I have to check them out later. Okay, and what else are you into besides anime and fashion? Let's see. You got. Oh, I think they were paying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before COVID, like I said, they in Japan they consider a lot of people consider themselves the fashionistas. So but like I said, that was before COVID. Now people are like trying to save money and stuff. So like what I've done in this game with the background that I was working on is I've also you'll notice I've added some elements here. So these were actually created in Adobe Animate. So these little wheels and like I'll be creating some like little flowers and trees and stuff like that. And the enemies, like for example, this is one of the enemies. I'm I actually browse this category. I'm starting to learn how to code. Oh, okay. With Learn with Leon. Okay, I've heard of that channel, but I've never checked it out. Yeah, I'm not exactly the strongest coder. I can code, but it just takes me a while because I think too much, and I'm a slow typer and I've got dyslexia. So I'm more on the art side. So that's why, I take more pleasure in doing the artwork than doing the programming. I do the programming myself usually because, I want to learn and I want to get better at it. But, coding just, I've never really liked coding. I like storytelling, I like creating characters, I like creating worlds. But if you're going to do game development, you kind of have to be an all-rounder, unless you're working in a team. So this is one of the these are like some of the enemies that I think we're gonna include in this game later. Once we get everything kind of worked out with the layout. So let's see, what were we doing? Back over here. All right, so here's the level right now. What we are going to do today, I think I've kind of explained what I think I've kind of explained the update. So we updated the UI. So we updated the UI. We updated the weapons. We updated the cards that pop up, and we have it set to where like enemies and portals can trigger by when the conversation is finished. So now what we need to do is that we need to do a little bit of art. We need to do a little bit of work on the main menu. But Learn to Code with Leon. Is that a YouTube channel? Because I like using brackeys. So I learned a lot from brackeys and Blackthorn Prod because they explain things very simply. So I like those channels. And Code Monkey, I watch his videos sometimes. But he's a little bit fast for me, I think. All right, so we're gonna go to the menu. So we're gonna go to scenes, and we're going to go to menu. All right, so you're gonna open up the main menu. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know that YouTube channel. I have checked it out before, but I think I tend to have my four main YouTube channels that I like to learn Unity from at the moment. And my first one is Blackthorn Prod because I learned a lot from those guys. So Blackthorn Prod. Then my next one would be Thomas Brush. Well, Blackthorn Prod, Brackies, then Thomas Brush. Then there's another guy named Jonas. I cannot remember his last name to save my life. Hmm. Yeah, Jonas, and then Code Monkey. Jonas Tie Roller. Jonas. I think it's Tie Roller. I'll find the links for you. Jonas Tie Roller, and then Code Monkey are my default. Oh, uh, Code Monkey, and then there's another one that I cannot remember as well. But that's kind of like my little circle of game dev. When I get stuck on something, I just go straight to YouTube and like, how guys, how do you do this? And just kind of look it up. Let's see, what is it? A Jonas, uh, Jonas Game Dev. Okay, I spelled his name wrong, but yeah, like Jonas High Roller. I joined the other team of a girl who's coding her own games from scratch. She does the music, design, coding, and everything. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I have to make my own music too. So when I'm making music, I tend to use what is it? I use GarageBand on my iPad. So I use a mix of GarageBand and a few other like free applications. Um, like Audacity is one that I use as well. So yeah, I think like if you have you ever made a full game yet, or are you still kind of in the process of like kind of doing that? Hmm. Right, this is what we're going to be doing today. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're working in a team, or unless you want to, pay for stuff like, it's good to learn how to do it yourself, especially with my stuff because all of my games are, I'm not just making random games, all of my games are story based, right? So I actually have like a property, like online properties and like clothing and a fashion brand that's associated with them. So I don't really want to give up too much control of rights and stuff. So that's another reason why I kind of do a lot of stuff myself. Just for copyright stuff and whatnot. Yeah, so I do have to make my own music. So Audacity is fun. If you play this game, hold on, my Quest of the Gummy Witch game has a lot more of my voice acting in it. Hold on, let's see who we have here. Okay, let me check over here. Herschel, okay, I've never heard of her. Okay, yeah, I'll subscribe and check her out. I'm always checking out other people like uh, game dev tutorials as well. Right now, I've got this huge ad on my screen. Okay, let me follow her out. Allow. All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, thanks for sending that. I'll like check her out in a little bit as well. Yeah, so at the end of my game dev stuff, I'm always like checking out other channels, because I'm not really so good at streaming right now. So I check out other developer channels to kind of see how they're doing it, and might pick up a few tips every now and then. Let's see. Hmm. She only had one viewer. Oh, well, now she has two viewers because I just subscribed for her. So, yeah, I just subscribed to her channel. Followed her. So whenever she's on, I'll probably go check her out. So, yeah, she's really cool. How come she uses blocks for her characters? Actually, using blocks for your characters is actually not a bad thing to do. One, because it kind of, especially when you're prototyping. So that's what I did with this game. So if you watch the beginning of this game, you'll notice that I mainly laid out my entire level using blocks. So like I think I'll show you like a screenshot of what it previously looked like. because I'm kind of building this up as I go. But one of the worst thing that you want to, one of the things that you don't want to do when you're doing game development. Yeah, yeah. Like, well, anytime you're prototyping, using blocks and stuff like that is actually much better because you don't want to spend so much time making like all of this beautiful artwork and then like if the game mechanics don't work, right? So, at the beginning of this, like, hold on. Okay, this is a little bit more advanced. After I put some work into it, but generally, yeah, if you notice, most of the elements on my screen when I'm prototyping are just blocks. So, that way she can kind of we can kind of work in the game mechanics and find out, what works before we start putting in a lot. Doing artwork takes a lot of time. And doing animation takes even more time usually. So you don't want to go through all the process of doing all of that stuff first, and then finding out that that they don't work with your game mechanics, right? So one thing that you might want to do is I'm going to post this link for you. You can check out my Quest of the Gummy Witch link. So Quest of the Gummy Witch. This is the game that I made with my kids. Um, with my two kids. So they were like what, maybe 10 and 7 at the time. Um, and I used Audacity and Adobe. I used Audacity and GarageBand for the voice work and for the music. So voice and music um, done in Audacity and GarageBand band on on iPad. So to be honest, like my iPad is one of the is probably my most essential game development tool besides my computer, right? So because with an iPad you can basically do anything, and the apps are very cheap. So you can just download cheap apps and you use them to like prototype a game. So most of my artwork done on iPad, most of my music and most of my music done on iPad. My sound are done on Audacity. Mm. Right. So let's see. Oh no no no! I use iPad Air. So I got like and a lot of times I don't even get a new iPad. I'll just get a used one. So this one that I'm using right now is like what, a 2016. Yeah, my Mac is new because my old Mac just broke. Um, and my iPhone is new because my iPhone just broke. But this thing right here is just an iPad 2016, like or two iPad 6th generation, a used one that I picked up for very cheap. Because I thought my kids were gonna like be doing like online school much earlier, so I got it for their study, but then they didn't need it, so I've been using it for game development. So I got an iPad, I got my Generation One Apple Pencil. Yeah, I always buy used. Until recently, I always bought used iPhones too. But now, like because I like to repair stuff myself, but so I had an iPhone 5 that just died like a couple weeks ago. But I buy new phones for like other people in the house, but like for me, I always like whenever my iPhone breaks, whenever something in my house breaks, my initial instinct is to fix it myself. So I've fixed my PS4, my Xbox, my Nintendo, anything that I just keep on fixing stuff until I can't fix it anymore. And that's what happened to my iPhone 5. I broke my iPhone 5 like 6 times, and I always just bought parts off of Amazon and fixed it myself. And so, speaking of fixing stuff, what we're going to do today is this is an ugly like background. So we're going to go ahead and change this background. And I was showing you on my iPad how I actually do my artwork. So we're going to take like some of the images from here, and we're going to put them into our main menu to make it look more, more promising for people who actually want to play the game, right? Because right now, if you go to the itch.io page and you start playing the game, the first thing you see is like that little drawing, uh, You just see like that ugly menu. Yeah, so I think first impressions are always very important. So I think this will leave a very poor first impression on anybody who's interested in kind of playing the game for the first time. Oh wow, there's a really cool game, and what the hell is this? It just kind of got out. Just kind of got sketch work, right? So we're gonna need to fix this and make it look nice. And we have no sound effects, so that means that the initial look of the game is going to be very important because normally I think anybody who hasn't seen the artwork that I've already done and who opened this game for the first time and if they just saw this they'd just be like skip it, right? So we're gonna change that. They wouldn't even make it to the actual gameplay. So um, let's go ahead and switch this back over here. All right, so what I will do is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna open up some of the work that I've already done here. Right, so this is what we're going to kind of use to create our menu. So I'm going to turn off some of these elements and that I've already kind of painted on here. So I'm going to probably turn off the fox. So I'll turn off the title, and I will turn off the effects here. And let's see. I think I'll turn off the background for right now. So I'm just turning off all of the layers right here that I'm not going to need. And we're going to add them one by one into the background when we actually need them. Okay, that should be it except for these leaves right here. All right, and this over here. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll also get rid of the city background. All right, so, and what is that thing doing there? I don't even need that. We'll turn this off as well. All right, so this leaves us with our fox. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here and I'm going to export this. And I'm going to save the image. And I'm going to, actually I can just go ahead and send that over to my Mac. All right, so I just sent that over to my Mac. All right, and what else are we going to use? So, all right, so let's go add some of these back. And now I think I'm gonna like get rid of everything except, I think I'm gonna get rid of my fox. So get rid of these as well. Get rid of this, get rid of this. And one of these days I'll go through and show you how I actually drew all of this stuff. I'll leave that in. I will, yeah, I'll leave that in. This I can kind of get rid of. All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and start cutting out our fox elements, right? Her name is Kuramiya, by the way. So, kind of like a takeoff of the old Naruto series. So, Naruto's fox's name is Kurama, but since this is a female fox, I decided to name her Kuramiya. Yeah, I love Naruto anyway, so the old Naruto. Not so much into this new Boruto series. Okay, get rid of these. Actually, no, I'll keep that. Anything else? Okay, yeah, I think maybe this is all that we'll need. Let me go ahead and duplicate this layer. I have a maximum layers. All right, so let me go ahead and merge this down. And now I'll duplicate this layer. And with this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the city. So I'll cut this back one. And we're not going to need this white. The app that I'm using right now, the app that I always use for doing my artwork is Procreate. So well, actually, this is the main app that I use for doing the final artwork. But I do use a few other ones that I'll show you in a little bit. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. So I won't need this here. All right, so I'll get rid of that. And when you're doing your artwork on iPad, it's actually very good because the iPad apps are much cheaper than like Windows and Mac apps usually. So you can kind of get a lot of good quality out of them with a very low price. So if you'll notice, there are some kind of gaps around here that I'll need to fill in. So I'm just going to quickly do that by using my Apple Pencil and selecting this layer right here, and I'm just gonna like quickly draw those in. So I'm gonna go to my paintbrush, and I'm gonna be using the round brush to just kind of fill these little areas in right here. And looks like that might be, yeah. So just kind of go around, filling in this thing. These. Do I watch the JK News? JK News. I don't. What do you mean by JK News? I'm not really so sure. Uh, what JK News you're referring to? Is that the name of a news station, or I get a lot of my news from Twitter actually, because I'm pretty busy, so I don't really check. Um, I don't really check mails and stuff so much, and I don't really stay on social media as much as I used to. I mean, I think that's because I'm starting to get older. I'm just kind of starting to get bored with it. So, you know, so that's probably the main reason. So right now I'm just kind of filling all of these gaps because we're going to import each of these as a separate graphic into Unity. Right, so a lot of this might be covered anyway, but just in case, just kind of, just very lightly color in all of these like spaces right here. All right, and actually that might be good enough. So there's a Japanese guy in there that says Japanese people were born racist. Um, Now, when it comes to racism in Japan, it is a problem. Um, However, it's a different type of problem, and the level of it is very different because the reasons for it are different. So I've been to like 40 different countries. I've been all over the world. There's racism like in almost every country, like, even with between people who look very similar, like I don't like him because of this. I don't like That's just human nature, right? The racism in America is like 400, 500 times like worse. And I mean, and it's really, really stupid to have in America, because America was built by immigrants, and America always been after they killed the Native Americans, has always been a a melting pot of different cultures, right? So for America to have racism makes absolutely no freaking sense at all. Um, Whereas in Japan, like you have to remember that Japan is a small island country, so, and that's why many Japanese are very friendly, but they still kind of have an island mentality in a lot of ways because Japan just recently opened up about like 200 years ago, right? So until then, like it was a pretty closed culture, pretty closed society. So, in Japan, um, basically, it's not really such a racism as you know it in America, where it's like, okay, well, I'm white, you're black, and therefore you're like lower than me, and you don't deserve anything, and you should just do whatever the hell we tell you, shut up or get shot. That's basically the American mentality. America is not for people of color. It never was. It wasn't designed that way. It was built for basically, elite white people who ran away from Europe and didn't want to pay taxes, and wanted people to work for free. So the American dream has always been a lie. It's only a dream for people who of a certain status because that's who it was designed for. There were no people of color or any other race in there when they were writing and signing the Declaration of Independence, right? So that means that it wasn't meant for us. However, Japan is very accepting of most cultures, right? Because they're very curious about most cultures. But in Japan, there's still a line like, you are a foreigner, we are Japanese, right? And you know, and you'll find that mentality in a lot of like island cultures, right? Well, you're not like no matter how long you live there, you're still not Japanese, then you'll never be Japanese. Well, I mean the same thing happens like when you go to like Singapore. I mean when you go to like places like China, you're like you're a nice guy, we like you, but you're not Chinese, right? So it's not that they actually, you know, I walking around in Japan, I don't have to worry about getting beat up because I'm black, or I don't have to worry about getting shot because I'm black. Because like you know, like people just look at me and they're like, well, like you're a foreigner, you're not Japanese, you're not from this island, like you know. So there is a little bit of like prejudice on that side, just because like you know, as a foreigner, you can't really do that much. You know, you have to have permission to do basically everything. So America's a lot more free in that sense because you can kind of like do whatever you want, or if you don't like one state, you can go to another state. But in Japan, it's either you're Japanese or you're a foreigner. That's basically it, right? But because many Japanese are very curious about foreigners, especially the younger generation, you know, they're just like instead of it being like they still have like a bit of fear because they don't really know that well, and they've been told a lot of stuff from their like you know from the older generation who didn't really trust foreigners that much. But the younger generation, they're like, well, we want to know more, you know, so they're really cool and really outgoing and like becoming more free. um, the racism in Japan is a little bit different because Japan was kind of indoctrinated by Western culture. That's the problem, and Western media after World War II. So a lot of their viewpoints and their perspectives of Western cult of light skinned and darker skinned people, while they won't attack you and they'll never like be physically aggressive or they'll never like try to take your life just because you're a different color or anything. When it come the racism tends to come from like tends to be seen in companies, right? When it comes to work. So Japan is a very workaholic society, but a lot of the racism that you'll see you won't see on the street, right? It's like so you can walk here and they'll be very nice, they'll be friendly, you can eat, you can chat and stuff like that. But when it comes to getting a job, that's when you start to notice it because and this actually comes from like Japanese culture because in Japanese culture they used to have an old structure where basically Japanese people are like mythologically descended from the god the sun god, right? Which if you think about it, that means they should be black. but but they're like descended from the sun god, and they're direct descendants. So it's like Izanagi, Izanami. Then like they have like their like Susanoo, and so the Japanese emperor. Japan still had an imperial system, right? Or still has an emperor. He had no power, but he's still there. But the Japanese emperor is supposed to be a pure-blooded descendant of Susanoo, one of the sun god, right? And so because of this, like the Japanese emperor never had to work. He was very protected, and therefore he because he didn't have to work, he had white skin, or he had light skin. So in Japan, the mentality is like that they're kind of obsessed with light skin naturally because light skin is a symbol of purity, right? And that's not Japan, just Japan, but also in a lot of in China as well. So it's a sign of purity. So if you're a field worker, right? If you're a field worker, then you have dark skin. So that means by nature, they tend to look at dark skinned people as field workers, whereas light skinned people tend to be looked at as more elite or like as more intelligent. So like if you had even in Japan, if you had dark skin, oh well, we know that you work in the field. Why? Because your skin is dark. So therefore, they didn't necessarily think of. They're like you must be a field worker must be strong, must be powerful, because he has to work in the field and he had to like take care of cows and shit. Whereas this person who's been indoors must be very well educated. And unfortunately, that traditional mentality between field workers and like Tono-sama, the elite class, actually kind of got reinforced with the Western view and the Western media of kind of like white people versus dark people in a corporate environment. Now, those of us who live in America, we actually know that it was, black people, Mexicans, and people of color who built America, because we did the jobs that nobody else wanted to do. So we are very well, we're not we might not have the money to go to college, and we might not have any I don't know, advantages for financial advantages or anything like that to be able to get into like high class places. But a high class place does not necessarily a high class education doesn't necessarily. I met a lot of high class idiots, like worldwide, who went to places like Harvard and law schools and like stuff like that, but they have no fucking common sense. so but here they tend to look at that, they tend to watch the American media and Western media, and they're like, okay, well, and this is very common to see on Japanese TV. Whenever you see a black guy on TV, he always gets the same role. He's angry, he's very built, he's very aggressive, and he's kind of stupid. So the only thing he's good for is like physical work, and they're not allowed to display any type of real intelligence on Japanese TV. So that's why most of us have most of the black people that you see on Japanese TV are like Bobby Olagun. He has to act like he's an idiot. He may be actually pretty smart, but we never know because those are the roles that he gets because it's very stereotypical. This is all they know. So when people used to see me, they're like, "What do you do? Do you hip hop dance?" Well, yeah, I can. But are you a pro fighter? Yeah, I can be. Like I do fight a lot. I do train a lot. But this is what they learned. This is what they kind of picked up with the mix of Western media and their own culture of lighter is more intelligent, you know. But then when they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I make video games. You can do that? Yeah, I have a brain. I used to be an IT manager for like some of the banks here. So my background is actually financial IT, and people are shocked. Like, you can do computers? I'm like, yeah, I'm really good at computers. But at first glance, that's not something that really crosses their mind. Now, the in the company is still a problem, but recently, with the younger people, because younger people are curious, they're like, "Wow, I never knew that you could do something like that." Like that's because you never asked, So then they want to learn more, and that's when they start getting more education. But the Japanese system for Japanese companies also has a problem with being based on a senpai kohai structure, which is where older people have all of the power and younger people basically have to work their way up, right? So because of that, Japanese companies never change. So if a black guy goes to an interview in a Japanese company, most of the time they are going to try to give him the low level work or the lower salary naturally. That happens with Indonesians, that happens with Southeast Asians, that just happens because whereas a white guy who might not have any experience at all coming from Australia, just fresh out, he as long as he has a suit and tie, they'll put him in a manager position. I've seen this happen over and over and over again, and it happened with some of my friends' companies, right? So some of my friends had been in Japan for many years, and they worked really hard and they started their own companies, but they wanted to expand their companies, and they couldn't really get anywhere. They're like, well, nobody will give me a loan, nobody will give me funding, and their ideas were great. So then me being here for a while, I'd be like, okay, do you have a white friend? He'd be like, no, do I need one? I'm like, it's Japan. Yeah, you kind of do. And one of my friends, he had a nice little animation company, and he worked really hard. His animation is amazing, but couldn't get funding. So what he did is his friend came from Australia, no animation experience, nothing. They just went to college together, and then they went their own separate ways. But when his friend came, him and his friend that were pretty tight, right? But they would go. He's like, okay, well, I'll show you my company, and they had a few meetings and stuff like that. And he noticed he noticed that even though it was his company, whenever Japanese people would meet him, they would naturally go to his white friend first, who had no idea about like company stuff or animation or anything. They would just talk to him, and they would be asking him all the questions. And like he's like, I don't know, he's the CEO, but he's like he could tell that his friend was really shocked because he kept on telling, no, I'm not the CEO. I'm just visiting. He's the CEO. Like, I'm just visiting. This is his company. But the people that he was talking to just really couldn't get it through their heads. And so, like, he's like, that gave me an idea. So he took his friend back. He's like, okay, well, before you go back to the Australia, he's like, why don't I just make you the face of my company? And that's what happened. As soon as he made his white friend the face of his company, he got funded. So, even though his friend had no experience, had never done animation, like maybe just in college or something like that. And but his friend did a little bit of marketing, so he's like, okay, well, I'll just make you the face of the company, and then you could be the marketing manager and stuff like that. So, like, his friend didn't even really speak Japanese. So, but it's just like this is the reality. Like now it's getting much better because because of COVID is starting to help because it's becoming more results based. But Japan does still have a kind of like a stigma or a stereotype that that certain people cannot do intelligent work, or that certain people should not be manager level. And that's something that's really been hurting them a lot because or that certain people don't deserve a certain type of salary. It was kind of the same until recently for women as well. So like a lot of the guys that I knew in the company, they just got crazy salaries. Japanese guys got crazy salaries just because they've been there the longest. But I know that he wasn't doing shit all day, and it was his secretary that was doing all of his work. And her salary, I mean, she would be working like 16 hours a day, getting a crap salary, and like he didn't do anything. He would just outsource to her, but his salary would be huge, and he would be getting bonuses, and he would be taking credit for her work. And that really lasted, that really lasted until recently. And I think that really started to change after the Lehman shock, and like changed a little bit after the Lehman shock, because what happened during the Lehman shock is that a lot of until then, like people could come to Japan, especially white people could come to Japan, and then they would get like offer these crazy salaries for no reason. Like oh well, you must be elite and stuff like that. So it just give them a crazy salary. But and then other people who are actually working didn't really get that salary. It's just like, well, I'm doing all the work, and he's just a manager, but he doesn't know the job or anything. And but the Japanese were paying for his house and his family to come over and stuff like that. But then what happened during the Lehman shock and during the earthquake is that as soon as the Lehman shock hit and as soon as the earthquake in 2011 hit, a lot of these people that Japan was paying for, these expats, they just packed up and left. They're like I don't care. They just ran back home, and they just took their money and ran back to their countries. But Japan was already paying their rent and stuff, so they really got screwed by a lot of expats that they were overly paying for. Whereas the people who couldn't go home, like the people that were actually working, they couldn't take their money and leave, so they actually stayed in Japan and toughed it out. And that's when Japan really started to kind of learn their lesson a little bit. They're like, okay, we spent so much money on this guy to come to Japan and be a manager, and gave him a crazy salary, but at the end of the day, he just took off and left us. Whereas this person, this Indonesian guy who's actually been doing all the work, is still here with his family, and he's still working with us. So, oh yeah, we have earthquakes like almost every week. Yeah, yeah. So earthquakes are quite frequent in Japan. Um, so it's a part of almost daily life here. So we get a lot of them at night. So, but I actually don't really mind getting the earthquakes. I prefer that we have them. Because I don't know the science is behind this. There's probably no science behind this at all. But I think like the more small earthquakes we have, the bigger, the less chances of a bigger one. Yeah, that's something I've always kind of like believed. All right, so back to what I was doing before we started talking about before we got into racism. But yeah, racism is a problem in Japan. It's just not as big of a problem as it is in other countries, and it's not like as blatant a problem. You know, it just happens like when you're interacting with police, or when you're trying to get a job, or when you need to like try to get a loan or something like that. That's when it kind of rears its ugly head. Other than that, you know, people are pretty chilled, and I think one of the most redeeming things about Japanese people is that they tend to be very curious. So once they kind of learn, older people are always going to be stuck in their ways no matter which country you go to. But when it comes to younger people, once they start learning that something is not really correct, or they see that you're kind of something different, then that's when their curiosity kind of kicks in. It's like, okay, well, what else can you do? And so that's kind of like I think one of the best things about being here. You can kind of prove your way to a certain point. Now, being a foreigner, they're never going to trust you completely. That's just the way it is, especially like when it comes to politics and stuff like that. But, you can kind of prove yourself a little bit more. Whereas, like in America, they already know all of this shit, and they still choose to shoot you anyway. So, yeah, unfortunately, so America never will never learn, but other countries are doing pretty good, picking up stuff. All right, so what I'm doing right now, oh yeah, my wife is Japanese. Actually, you might have seen her running around the background. Yeah, so my wife is Japanese, my kids are Japanese. Yeah, so overall, I would say it's a pretty good life over here. Um, the food is good. Food is good. It's very, very safe. My kids can go to school by themselves. They don't need an escort. Don't have to worry about anybody like really picking on them, or like just trying to shoot them or anything like that. I was in. No, she was not into anime. I got her into anime. So like she was a friend of a friend of mine. And we just kind of met through that connection. Yeah, but before she wasn't into anime at all. So but I mean, like, she can't be married to me and not be into anime. That just doesn't work. So so I have three requirements: Star Wars, anime, and well, a couple of other ones. Uh, yeah. So those are like my prerequisites. Like, I don't care if she can cook or clean or anything like that, because I can do that shit myself. But like, she had to be able to like Star Wars and anime. Otherwise, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't date you. Yeah. So she was willing to learn about it. I got her hooked on like Naruto and stuff like that way back in the day. And she's been an anime fan ever since. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of like selecting which other elements I want to put into this background here, so that it doesn't look so sorry. I'm going to turn off this, and I'm going to turn off the water here. All right, and yeah, that doesn't look too bad. The city. I'm going to go ahead and maybe cut the city off of this one, because I have it on another layer. Yeah, so it's good when you have like, somebody who's into the same stuff. She's not into video games at all, right? So she's not into video games, but as long as she's into anime and stuff like that, and she's starting to find some pretty good series to recommend to me recently. So we kind of got that like nice little flow going. All right, cool. So I think we're gonna kind of take this and actually I'll remove these shards right here, because I think we might animate these shards. Animate these, and I might get rid of this one as well. Yeah, these little things might not be necessary. All right, so we're gonna cut the shards off of here, and I'll leave this. Oh yeah. She started watching her own series now, so. All right, we'll go ahead and export this out. Her style of anime and my style of anime do cross over. You know, you know how to do those anime gang signs. Actually, there's a lot of anime gang signs. Like, yeah, we used to run around and do the Naruto seals and stuff like that as gang signs. So yeah, those are pretty fun. Let's see, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna save this image here. Yeah. Like that's traditionally I used to practice ninjutsu, traditional ninjutsu in Japan. Yeah, so I did a style called Tokage Ryu, which is taught by Hatsumi Masaki Hatsumi. He's one of the last remaining ninja grandmasters in Japan. So I used to train with him, and we do have those signs are actually called in. So they're part of the Kujikiri, right? But they're like basically it's not just relative to it's not just used in ninjutsu. It's actually very old traditional stuff that if you trace the background of it, a lot of the old martial arts and a lot of the old ninjutsu and kung fu stuff actually from Hindu comes from India. So, and they used to use those to open chakra points. So the logic in Naruto is actually based on that. Um, like using, it's basically like finger yoga to open up certain points of the body to either heal yourself or give yourself an extra boost. Mm. So, by manipulating, chakra or chi. Hmm. So it does have some very, very old world usage or origins, right? From Hinduism. Okay, let's see. So I think I'm gonna hide this now. Okay, so and then I think the last thing that we're going to export out are these shards here. Okay, we'll export the shards and then like we'll export the wisp behind it. And then we'll just drop those into our our menu to keep it from looking so sorry. Okay, so here we go. This will be behind the character, so we don't have to worry about trying to fill in these holes here. So I'll export that as well. Right, and what else am I gonna do? I'm going to, yeah, I think that's basically all that we'll need, except for the title here. So let me go ahead and turn the title back on. And so this title was actually done in partially in Animate and then in Procreate, and then I used Animate to do the stylized text. All right, cool. So yeah, this should work for what we need. So let me go ahead and turn all of these back on very quickly. So I'm just kind of reverting everything back to the way that it was before. And the thing about Procreate is that you can use two finger tap to do or undo anything. Okay, yeah. So now what I'm going to do with these images is I'm going to go ahead and kind of import them over to my Mac. So let me go ahead and come back over here and go back over to Unity. And you're just going to see me kind of drag and drop these. So let's see, where am I at? All my photos should be here. So we got our fox. Yeah. Fox, background, lights, wisp. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and send all of these to myself very quickly. Okay, and that's one thing I like about Mac is that I can just kind of airdrop everything. All right, so I've dropped all of these over to my Mac. And now these files are actually pretty big, right? So, but just for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and drag them into my um, drag them into my Unity project anyway, even though I know they're huge. And because I can always go in and shrink them down after I've imported them. Right. So go over here. find my images. So these are the images that that I just saved on my iPad. And like I said, we have all of this white space around here, which we're not necessarily going to want. So I am going to wind up, you know, cutting this down. I guess I could go ahead and do that actually. So to get rid of the white space, I might, I'm just going to go ahead and open these up in Adobe Photoshop. So I'm going to click all of these and open with Photoshop 2020. Do you use Photoshop for any of your artwork? So this one I think is safe. This one we're definitely going to crop. So crop this guy here. Oh, not there. Not like that. I'm going to crop him down here. Huh. My crop tool isn't working because I have it set to a different, get back over there. So what is the original ratio? Okay, so this should work. Huh? Nope. Okay. I forgot what I just did something funky with my my crop tool. Okay, maybe not. Let me go ahead and just like cut it out then. Oh, my keys. Okay, that's the problem. My keys are kind of messed up at the moment. All right. Let's see. What's a better way for me to do this? Sometimes I have this problem with Adobe Photoshop, and I don't know why that happens, but my keys kind of get remapped on me, like quite suddenly, for no reason. Okay. Well, when this happens, what I normally do is I'll just go ahead and go to my Adobe Animate, and I'll just go ahead and drag those things over in here. Because I might wind up using them in Animate anyway. Yeah, usually when that happens, I have to kind of restart my Adobe Photoshop, so I kind of don't want to do that at the moment. All right, so those files that I just dropped should be in here somewhere, and I'll just go to my library. There we go. So for example, I might want to animate this later. So what I would do is I'll just go in here and I will click V to click on this, and then I'll break it apart by hitting Control B. And then I'm just gonna like cut this part out, and I'm just gonna save it as a symbol, right? And then the rest of this is garbage. The next one will be the fox. So I'll drag him out here. Click on this, Control V, and then I'm going to just create a nice little, use my select tool. My box select. Okay, I'll use my lasso tool, and I'll just kind of go around here. Yep, go around here, and then I'll go ahead and hit F8, turn that into a movie clip, and then B, get rid of this. All right, and then the next one will be these, I think. So I'll drag these on here. I can Control V to break them apart. Grab my lasso tool. Go around here. Okay. Movie clip this one. So when you start making stuff into movie clips, it becomes a lot easier to kind of play around with them. Play around with the elements and kind of like start working with animations, color variations, and stuff like that, and Adobe Animate. So that's why I use it so much. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drag him over here too. You can stay. This one right here is probably going to be way too big. Right, so no, hold on. See, break that apart. break apart and go ahead and select this. So I found like so many little cheat methods that I can kind of use when that aren't available in Photoshop. And I've been using like Adobe Animate or Macromedia Flash basically since I was in the military, because I used to be a web designer there. So used to do the web design for my ship and stuff. Okay, I think that's good enough. Yeah, this one can stay here. All right, so now I'm going to take all these elements, because if you'll notice, what I can do is I can kind of just stack them. Should I do this guy too? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this guy too. Because I might fade this in and out under this one. That's why. So I'll click on this, click on break apart, and I will just grab this part area down here and movie clip that, and then get rid of the garbage. All right, cool. So with this, I can actually do a little bit of animation. So I think I'm going to leave him here. I need to get rid of this area here. It's 2 a.m. over here. It was nice talking to you. Have a great day. Oh yeah, man. It was really good talking to you as well. Like, so I hope you'll jump back on my stream later. I might be still working on this. I'm gonna have to cook dinner soon, I think, because it's almost 4 p.m. And my kids will be coming home. Well, my youngest son is already home. My oldest son is like, but I might still be on when you're up. Maybe they're doing this, or maybe playing a video game like Overwatch or League of Legends. But yes, please stop by to check me out at any time, and I'll keep you updated on the GameDev. And like, I'll show you what I've been doing. But yeah, go ahead, get some sleep, and I hope to see you again soon. It was very nice talking to you. All right, so let's see. See you and have a great day. All right, you too. All right, so let's see. Now I'll jump back into this and see if I can get a little bit more done before I have to start cooking. Oh, my oldest son just got home. Hey, おかえり。うん。今日部活ある？ない？ Okay. あ、そうかそうか。これから、いや、これから、テストの準備でしょ。うん。Yeah, he's got a test like next week, so he had to study, so he had no after school club. All right, cool. So we're going to take these elements here, and we're going to just kind of drop them. Yeah, drop them on, or go ahead and export them out. So we're going to export to. It's right here. So I'll just put like magic seal 1, and this is going to export out really huge because I have these set up to where I can export them to 4K, in case I want to turn the game into 4K. Right, and hello. Okay, let me export that again. Magic Seal 1. Okay. And then export Magic Seal 2. Okay, and we'll export this guy out to menu. All right, and we'll export this out to background. Oh, sorry. First, we'll have to convert this one to symbol. So we'll convert to symbol here. Okay, so background menu, or menu background. We'll put like magic shards. Okay, magic shards 1. Okay, and we'll go ahead and convert this one to a symbol as well. Okay, just name it. Oh, sorry. Magic Wisp 1. Okay, and then symbol, what is it? And we'll put like a menu title 1. Okay, so yeah, this is how we're going to kind of roll with this at the moment. All right, so we've saved all of these out, and I'll go ahead and save them here. And then we will jump over into our Unity. All right, and now we're just going to kind of replace these graphics. So you'll notice I kind of already did a layout for this, because I had to have something for a menu. Well, what we're going to do now is we're just going to take all of these sprites that I just dropped somewhere. Maybe in here. Here we go. And we're going to take these and we're going to drag them in here. And I think I just barely missed my sprites folder. Did I? Okay, so let's see if it actually made it in here. Nope, it didn't. So I missed my sprites folder when I was trying to import. So here, and just kind of drag these down to into the sprites folder to make sure that they're where they need to be. And it looks like I missed one of them. Here we go. Background. All right, cool. So now what we can do is we can go into our menu, and since we already kind of got a layout, all we have to do is a sprite swap. So I will go to my canvas up here, and Nikki, we're not going to really use her. I am going to go to the story. What am I going to go to? Maybe play, text. Right, Nikki, we're going to kind of get rid of her because we're not going to use her for this one. And for Kuramiya, we're going to switch this graphic out to this one. All right, cool. So we're going to switch this one out, and since she's the main character, we're going to scale her up a bit. Not, I said a bit, not that damn much. So she's the main character, so she should be kind of sitting in the middle. So we're just going to kind of scale her up here. And then, like, we're going to, we don't really have a background set for this, so I think we're going to, like, switch the Nikki to this background here. All right, and since this is different, we're going to set this for set to native size, and we're just going to kind of scale it up. Now you'll notice this is a little bit dark, but don't worry, we're going to fix that later. So I'm just going to scale this up to around maybe like this, I think. Yeah, to right around here. And then I think we're going to move this one down a bit. I suppose I could squash it. Because I want that city in the background to show up. But to be honest, I'm kind of being lazy with the design on this one anyway. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to leave her here, and then I'm going to use something else to kind of prop Kuramiya up one. So we do have a few rocks laying around here, so I'm going to use those instead because I don't really feel like redrawing this graphic. So we're going to put her on a boulder layer later. Are we going to do that? No. Okay, hold on. Let's see how this actually looks. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to go to look for some of the magic stuff that we imported in here. So I'm going to look for the magic seal one. Okay, my magic seal didn't make it in here. Why not? Yeah. Okay, let me change this here. All right, cool. So, yeah, we've got this Nikki one over here, so we're just going to change this one to Magic Seal 1. All right, and yeah, we're going to definitely set this one to set native size, and we're going to just drag it down here. And we're going to have to shrink this one a little bit, I think. Or at least move it over. So move it over here and drop it down here. And probably shrink it a little bit after all. Yeah, so we're going to shrink her to right. Shrink this to right there. All right, and this one is below. In the hierarchy, it's below Kuramiya, so we want her to be at the top, sitting on top of this thing, so we're going to have to move it. So we'll put like Magic Seal 1. And they're just going to drag this magic seal right here. Okay, to where it looks like she's sitting on top of it. And now we're going to duplicate this. So we're going to duplicate this one, and this magic seal will be the one that we're going to animate. Okay, so this will be a magic seal 1 glow. And I'm going to swap the graphic with magic seal 2 here. All right, and now I have to kind of line these things up. So let me do that very quickly. Okay, so we'll line these up around here and maybe drag it up a little bit. Huh. Okay, that's not aligning the way I thought it would. Okay. Yeah, now this one is not really going to be such a big problem because what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to wind up fading this one out anyway. Because this is going to be our kind of like our little power glow thing. So we're just kind of using it. We're just going to be like kind of fading it in and out to like give it a little bit more of a magical, little bit more of a magical feel. Okay, yeah, this will be good enough for this. All right, and let's see, what else do we need to do? Now we're going to add, I guess we can go ahead and duplicate this. And we're going to add the wisp in the background. Okay, and these will be also, I guess these can kind of hang out in their normal spot. Okay, so I'm going to shrink this one down a little bit to match the size of Kuramiya. Right. So maybe right around here. This should kind of be coming from that middle circle, I think. Like this circle right here. Let me shrink them down a little bit more. Move it over here. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty decent. And these can be kind of in front of Kuramiya, maybe. So the main thing is just kind of getting everything lined up, to be honest. Okay, yeah, this works better. All right, and so this will be like a magic wisp. Okay, and then I think we've got one more that we need to do, and that will be the what? Right, and yeah, so we'll just go ahead and put these guys in here as well, and these will come come in front, and I'll have to enlarge these a little bit, I think. Right, and so we've got our play button here, so our play button needs to come below these. Yeah. All right, yeah, that looks pretty cool. And now, what else can we do? We have all of our elements that we're going to need in our background here. I would still like to have the city somewhere in the scene. So I might kind of, now that we have this magic circle here, I think I can kind of play around with the background with moving it down a bit more. Okay. I mean, I could just drag these in element by element, but I kind of don't want to do that. So, well, we'll leave the background kind of looking like this for now, I guess. Because I'm just being lazy anyway, so I'm probably going to wind up changing this. Oh, actually, one thing that we do need to do is we also need to go ahead and duplicate this. And I need to add the title. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll add the title and we'll set that one to native size. And we'll drag this up here. Okay, so the title will be up here. Title needs to be definitely behind the buttons. Okay, so now if I come in here, I think maybe the title can be a bit smaller. Okay, yeah, the title can be smaller. The story and the credits buttons will be moved down now. And they also need to kind of come to where the play button is. So they'll come out in front. And we're probably going to wind up changing the shape of those anyway, to be honest. Okay. And possibly I think we can kind of scale these three things down a little bit. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. You know, for a little impromptu menu that we're kind of doing. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. I think this will be good enough for the menu because all we're going to do is just kind of like save this and play it, and then we'll add like some like animation to it to you know, make it kind of make add a little bit of animation to it to make it kind of stand out. All right, cool. So yeah, this is our new menu, yay! And you know, I'm definitely gonna fix a lot of this, so don't worry about it. But that's kind of what it looks like at the moment. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this Magic Wisp 2. Well, the reason why I put this one under here is because I do want it to look, I do want some kind of animation on here to kind of give the player a sense of some magic kind of happening around Kuramiya. So we're going to go here and we're going to create a new animation. So right now I just clicked to create a new animation. I'm going to go to my assets folder and I'm going to look for my animations. And I'm going to click in here and I'm going to make a new folder. And I'll just call it menu uh, magic anim1. Okay, and I'm just gonna name this one idle. And for this animation, this is actually going to be the first animation that you'll see me create in here. So I'm going to, for this animation, I'm going to add a simple, like kind of glowing effect. So for at first, I'm going to set this magic wisp to all the way down to 0. Yeah, how many of these did I? Oh, sorry, not that one. I have to change the change the title on that one. So I've got Magic Wisp 1. What is this? Why do I have 2 Magic Wisp? Oh, these are magic shards. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got my Magic Wisp. I've got my title. Yeah. So Magic Wisp title. So the Magic Seal is the one that I'm going to Magic Seal Glow is the one that I'm going to animate. So I'll create a another animation controller here, and I will actually back up out of that. Go to Magic Seal 1. Seal menu. Right, so now I'll create idle for here. And with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set the transparency for this all the way down to here, so that you can't really see it. And then I'm going to click this red button. So remember, when you're doing animation in Unity, you want to make sure that you you always turn this on. And I'm going to go out like maybe to frame 30 because I'm lazy. And I'm going to simply go here and turn the opacity back up, all the way up here. And this will give us a nice little this will give us a nice little kind of glowing effect, like what is the undulating glowing effect. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it. All right, so yeah, that's going, but it's a little bit fast, I think. Right, and also for the first frame, I might not necessarily want this to be 100% set to, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of a glow right here, and then I will do the same. So I'll check to see what the property is, how much of a, so it's like set to 0.53 for frame 1. So for this frame over here, I'm also going to go here and set it to 0.53. 0.53. All right, cool. So we got our nice little white glow here. You'll notice that this does kind of look a little bit fast. So we're going to grab all of these and extend them out to maybe probably 3 seconds, I think. But let's play and see what this looks like. Okay, yeah, that still looks a little bit short to me, so I'm going to go ahead and drag these out to maybe frame 3 for up to 3 seconds. Okay, now that looks good. However, you do notice that it's a little bit that that the rate of the color change is just kind of happening a little bit too smoothly. So I want to have it at 100% for a little bit for a short amount of time. So on frame 130, I'm going to drag these guys all the way over here, maybe to frame 1, and then at frame 2, I'm going to copy these frames from frame 1, and then I'm going to go to 2 seconds, and then I'm going to go over here and just kind of paste the same one. So now when we play, when it hits the 100 mark, it should stay there for a little bit, and then it'll go down. All right. Okay, and you can kind of play around with the timing of these as well. So maybe I'll just, instead of having these move on at 1 second, I might have them like kind of hang out around 130 and just kind of let them stay just for a little bit and intensify just for a little bit and then go back down. Okay, yeah, that looks better. Right, and then the next thing that we're going to do is go to these right here. We're going to go to the Magic Wisp, and we're going to animate those two. And so to animate the Magic Wisp, we're going to go to Animations, and I have my Magic menu. Create a new folder. Name it Magic Wisp menu. Okay, and this will also be idle. And we're going to animate the Magic Wisp as well. So we're going to animate this one to make it kind of get large and get taller and shorter, just to kind of have some different direction of movement. All right, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go out to maybe frame 30, and I'm just going to kind of scale it up here. And I still want it to be rooted in the same spot though, so I'm going to move it, move it there. And let's see how that works. Okay, so now we have a little bit of, we have kind of like a little Dragon Ball effect going on here. So I'm going to keep that here. And I'm going to copy the frames on 0 and move them out to 1 second and just kind of paste. All right, and let's see what this looks like. Okay, it just kind of looks like it's bouncing up and down. And that's because the animation is too fast. So we are going to move this also over to something probably a little bit longer than 3 seconds. So we're going to move this to, we'll go 4 seconds with this one. Okay, yeah, we're just doing like a little temporary one anyway, so. Alright, so now let's play and see what this looks like. Okay, not too bad. You know, it still kind of looks like still looks like it's kind of breathing, but you know, we can always like change it later. All right, and finally, we're gonna go ahead and animate these shards as well. So we'll go back into animation, go to magic shards, and really the reason I'm making these animations is one, you know, just to keep the menu from looking so boring. And also, we can always change these animations later and add other stuff to them. So I just want some animation in here. So I'll put this one as idle. All right, and for these magic shards, of course, we're going to cut this on. And I'll go back out to 0.3. And this one, I think we're going to go for a different angle. I'm just going to make them expand. Sorry, make them expand and contract. And that will be our animation for today, because I'm kind of running a little bit behind schedule. Okay, now I could do that. However, I'm also thinking about maybe actually just, yeah, we're gonna get rid of that animation. Maybe I want this to actually look like it's kind of rotating. So on this frame, I could go here and I want it to expand all the way out here, and then I want this one to come over here, and all right, so it's going to expand in, and then it's going to come back this way. Oh, sorry. Okay. And then I'm going to copy this. And go ahead and take it all the way through here. Right here. Okay, and then we'll jump out to maybe 40. Let's see what this kind of looks like. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna give up on that one. That doesn't look, I mean, we could do that, but it just kind of looks a little bit unnecessary, I guess. Right, so yeah, let's start back with this one. Go back out to 30. Make it expand a little bit here. Oops, hold on. Let me get back out of here. What I do? I'm actually kind of getting sleepy and hungry, guys, so. Idle animation. There you go. What am I doing? No. Okay, yeah, since I've already created this animation controller, animator, I'm just gonna go here and I'm going to go find this animation controller, which is magic shards. Yeah. Okay. Huh, okay, that's weird. Magic shards. Oh. Yeah, I'm getting really hungry. Nope. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get rid of this then. Remove component. Go over here, create another one. Okay. New folder. Magic shards menu 2. Okay. And this will be idle. Yeah, you can always kind of tell when I'm running out of energy because like my thinking and my thinking speed and my speech starts to kind of go down. All right, so all right, so we're on here, and we'll go ahead and move this out to 0.30. We'll make it larger. Then we'll go to 100 and drag it over here. And then we'll go to maybe this one and drag it back over here. And then finally I'll come back here and lop it off with the copy and paste from here. Okay, let's see how that looks. A little bit fast, and like it looks like this last one is not necessary so much. Okay, so I could step through this to see kind of what's up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, don't need those. Okay, I gotta get something to eat, I think. Okay, yeah, we'll just kind of leave it like this at the moment. All right, let me stop this here. We are going to go ahead and make this slower though. So I'll drag this out to like maybe 330. Okay, let's play. Nah, I'm gonna scrap this whole thing. So just get rid of all of those. Go back here and try again. Maybe something a little bit more subtle, I guess, would work. So drag it here. Okay, let's try this one. Not really liking that actually, so let's bring them back in here. Okay, let's see how this one works. Okay. All right, let's see how this looks. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look too great either. Yeah, I think I might just go ahead and leave it like this though, because I haven't really decided what I want the menu to look like. We're just kind of putting something in here to make sure that it doesn't look like, well, that it looks more than like a paper trail kind of thing, paper sketch. Playing around with the timing. Okay, yeah, I think we'll probably just leave it like this for now. But that just kind of give you an idea of what you can do with the animation. Yeah, I'm still not liking that though. All right, back onto this. Get rid of all these. Maybe just a little bit more of a subtle kind of movement. Might be fine for this. Okay, yeah. So the main thing is like as we just kind of need to play with the timing. Yeah, when I get hungry, my brain goes to mush. Okay, that doesn't really look too bad. I think I'll change the timing on the Wisp to make them actually move a lot slower. Okay, and I'll also change the yeah. Hmm. I mean, if I wanted it really, really fast, I could do something like this. Or I could just be simple and have no animation on the Wisp at all. So yeah, we're gonna go with no animation for these guys. Okay, yeah, I think that might actually be good enough for for this type of title. Yeah, I do need to make the actual title letter the bit larger. Okay, and also with this title, I think what I can do is I can create a little bit of a drop shadow. So I'll put the drop shadow behind this, and I'll just change using the same thing, I'm just going to kind of change the color. And then I'll move it down over here. And using this method, I can kind of, well, basically switch switch the drop shadow to whatever I want it to be, to any color. That will make it look cooler. Also fade it out a little bit. Okay, yeah, this should help the title stand out a little bit more. So yeah, I think that will be it for this stream because I got to get ready to jump off and start doing house stuff. Hmm. Title still looks a bit small. Hmm. Let me try this resolution. So what I did is I just dropped the resolution down on this to see if that'll make it look a little bit better. No, it doesn't. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go back up to the resolution I just had it at, which was full HD. Yeah. So we'll go like back up to full HD. And I'll figure out what I want to kind of do with this title later because I'm just getting too hungry, I think. Yeah, my brain has stopped working. Okay, this is not called Nikki anymore, it's called background. Right, and I'm going to duplicate this background very quickly and put it in above this one. I'm going to change this graphic to the standard square. Okay, to be honest, that doesn't look too bad. So what I could do is I could just kind of fade, if I want to make it a little bit lighter, I could just kind of fade this out. Actually, that doesn't look bad at all. So maybe the background was a little bit darker. So I can put this here. Right. And I noticed that Kuramiya is a little bit more see-through than I would like for her to be as well. So I'm going to duplicate her and give her more of a solid feel. And for her as well, you notice I made like 3 copies. Well, that's because I noticed that she's kind of see-through. So I'm going to maybe drop her, give her a little bit more of a darker blue on the inside. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. So, all right, so this is background 1. Maybe can do something like this. Drop it down to 1.8. Give her a little bit of a lighter background feel. And make sure that she's not totally see-through this time. All right, yeah, let's see how this works. Okay, yeah, I think that's good enough, except for with her tail being right in the middle of stuff. Title 1, title 2. To be honest, okay, yeah, the tail should be behind though. Okay, yeah, we'll leave the tail behind. Um, so when it comes to menu and when it comes to graphics, though, you can basically kind of do whatever you want. So there's no hard rules to any of this. Okay, yeah, we'll just like leave it a nice little soft white color for now. Ooh, actually, that doesn't look too bad either. Huh. Yeah, you can use this method to kind of tint it as well. And that would make the red stand out a little bit more, I think. So it kind of all depends on what you kind of want to do with it. That's not too bad. Let's see how this one looks. Now I'm just piddling around because I'm hungry. Not too bad, not too good. Kind of beamio. Definitely need the shadows. So, background 1, nah. Okay, we'll leave him off for now. All right, cool. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me right now. Yeah, I'm hungry and I have to cook, so I have to get ready for like dinner. So I'll be back on later once I have like a little bit more of a fresh start. And so, but anyway, like we've managed to update our menu. So I'll go ahead and put this version of the game out on itch.io for you guys to play around with. and then I'll be back on later for more artwork. All right, so everyone have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're learning something from it. And if you are, leave, just leave some comments or leave a like or check out the channel more or visit me on Patreon or play some of my other games. All right, so I'll peace out for now, and I will catch you back on later for something a little bit more after I've eaten and gotten some food in my stomach. All right, see you guys later, and everyone have a good one.